Hello students, in our previous session we have learnt regarding the prophase first of meiosis first. In it we have seen the different stages of prophase, that is leptotin, then zygotin, pachytin, diplotin and dikinesis. So prophase was a long duration. Now in this session we are going to see the next stage, that is metaphase first. Here in this diagram we can see the metaphase first. The chromosomes get arranged at the center of the cell. It is called as equator. They are arranged in such a way that the centromere is away from the equator, while the chromatids are facing or they are near to the equator. So from these two poles spindle fibers are completely developed. Then spindle fibers run from pole to pole and they are continuous. So here we can see these are the continuous spindle fibers. That means they run from pole to pole and they are not attached to the chromosome. They are also called as non-chromosomal spindle fibers. Then here we can see the chromosomal spindle fiber. These are the chromosomal spindle fibers. That means they are attached to the chromosome. In this stage, the chromosomes are arranged at the center of the equator and it is called as metaphase first. Then the next stage after metaphase first is anaphase first in meiosis first. Now here in this diagram we can see the anaphase first stage. Now in metaphase we have seen that the homologous chromosomes were arranged at the equator at the center of the cell. But in anaphase, due to the shortening of these or due to the contraction of these spindle fibers, the homologous chromosomes are dragged towards both the poles or both the ends of the cell and they are equally distributed. So here we have seen in metaphase that there were total 4 chromosomes at the equator. In anaphase, due to the shortening or contraction of spindle fibers, the chromosomes are dragged or pulled toward the pole and there is equal distribution. That means here we can see 2 chromosomes and here are 2 chromosomes. So the movement of the chromosome from the equator to the pole is called as disjunction. Similarly, at the equator a furrow is developed and it is called as cleavage furrow and it is developed in animal cell. Later on this cleavage furrow develops into a cell membrane. So in anaphase, the homologous chromosomes from the center of the cell are dragged towards the opposite poles and distributed equally, and this is called as disjunction, and this happens due to the contraction of spindle fibers. Then the next stage is telophase first. Now here in this diagram we can see the telophase stage. Now total 2 new cells are produced. Then a new cell membrane is formed in between the cells on the cleavage furrow. Then the chromosomes have been equally distributed. That is, one set is in this cell and one in this cell. Hence they are called as haploid cells. So at the beginning of the meiosis, we have seen that meiosis begins in diploid cells, and in diploid cells there were 2 sets of chromosome, or in all there were total 4 chromosome in the diploid cell, 2 from maternal origin and 2 from paternal origin. And at the end of the meiosis first, they are equally distributed. That is, two chromosomes are in this cell and two in this cell. That means two haploid cells are produced. Similarly, the nuclear membrane of the nucleus develops. Then nucleolus also reappear and the cell membrane is formed, or a new cell membrane is formed, and two new cells are produced, and these two new cells show presence of two daughter nuclei. So as these cells are not similar to that of parent cell in the chromosome number, that means in parent cell we have seen that there were in all total 4 chromosomes or 2 sets were present, but in the newly produced cell the chromosome number have been reduced to half of the total number of chromosome. That means each cell has received only 2 chromosomes or only one set of chromosome. Hence 2 haploid cells are produced, and as these newly developed cells are not similar to the parent cell in chromosome number, the division is called as heterotypic. Then simultaneously cytokinesis also occurs. That means formation of 2 new cells along with 2 new daughter nuclei occur, and it is called as cytokinesis. Initially we have seen that karyokinesis occurred. That means the division of nucleus occurred, and simultaneously 2 new cells are produced, and it is called as cytokinesis first. Initially we have seen the prophase stage. It was differentiated, or it consists of leptotin, zygotin, pachydian, diplotin and dikinesis. Then occurred the next stage, that is metaphase first. In metaphase we have seen the chromosomes are arranged at the equator. Then occurs the anaphase. In anaphase equal number of chromosomes are dragged towards the pole, and in telophase the nuclear membrane, the nucleolus reappears and chromosomes are equally distributed and 2 daughter nuclei are formed, and simultaneously cytokinesis occurs. That means formation of 2 new cell occurs, and each cell has one set of chromosome. Hence the cells are called as haploid cells. Then after cytokinesis first, the daughter cells may pass a resting phase called as interkinesis or interphase. But sometimes changes of telophase do not occur, and in such cases the anaphase directly leads to prophase second. We have seen the different stages of meiosis first. Now we will learn regarding meiosis second. Now the cells produced in meiosis second are total 4. That means in meiosis first 2 haploid cells are produced, and from these 2 haploid cells in meiosis second total 4 haploid cells are produced. Then the cells produced in meiosis second have the same chromosome number to that of the parent cells produced in meiosis first. Hence meiosis second is called as homotypic cell division. Then meiosis second consists of karyokinesis second and cytokinesis second. Now you know that karyokinesis means the division of nucleus is called as karyokinesis, while the division of cell is called as cytokinesis. Then the first stage of karyokinesis second is prophase second. Here we can see. Now meiosis second occurs simultaneously in both the two cells which are produced in meiosis first. Then here we can see the prophase second. Now the chromosomes become short and thick, or they become distinct. Then each chromosome consists of two sister chromatids, and these sister chromatids are attached or held together with the help of centromere. Then the centriole duplicates and forms two centrioles, and these centrioles move towards the pole or the end of the cells, and they will form asters. Then the nuclear membrane as well as nucleolus disappear in prophase second. Then the next stage is metaphase second. So in both the cells karyokinesis occur simultaneously. So in both the cells the chromosome come at the center of the cell and get arranged, and it is called as, or the center is called as, equator. Then from both the poles spindle fibers develop. Then spindle fibers are of two types, that is chromosomal spindle fibers, that means they are attached to the chromosomes, and non-chromosomal spindle fiber, that means these spindle fibers run from pole to pole. So these spindle fibers develop from the centrioles, and here in both the cells the spindle fibers are developed as well as the chromosomes get arranged at the equator. Hence the stage is called as metaphase. Then the next stage or the third stage is anaphase second. Here in both the cells the cell division occurs simultaneously. Now in each chromosome the centromere divides, and these two sister chromatids separate from each other, and due to the shortening of spindle fibers these chromatids are pulled towards the pole. So here we can see that each chromosome has been separated into two sister chromatids, and these sister chromatids are pulled towards the pole. So this stage or in anaphase the chromosome splits into two sister chromatids, and the chromatids are dragged towards both the poles. Then the last stage of karyokinesis second is telophase second. So the chromosomes at each pole will uncoil, they will become long and thin, and they will form chromatin network. Then nuclear membrane will develop around the chromosomes, as well as the nucleolus will reappear. So from each haploid nucleus two daughter nuclei are produced. Here we can see from one haploid nucleus two daughter nuclei are produced. Here again from one haploid nucleus two daughter haploid nuclei are formed. So this stage is called as telophase. Then the karyokinesis, or after the nuclear division, cytokinesis occurs. Now at the end of meiosis second we can see that total 4, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4, total 4 daughter cells or 4 haploid daughter cells are formed. So as the chromosome number is reduced to half of the total number of chromosome, meiosis is also called as reductional division. And in meiosis first, two haploid cells are formed, and in meiosis second, from these two haploid cells, two more cells are formed, and at the end total 4 cells or 4 haploid cells are formed in meiosis. So after the formation of these 4 daughter cells, they will undergo further changes and development, and they will develop into gametes. So meiosis occurs in reproductive cells during the formation of gametes. So here we have seen regarding the process, that is meiosis in animals. Now we will see the significance of meiosis. Now meiosis helps in the formation of haploid gametes. Similarly, the constant number of chromosomes is maintained in species across different generations. Then during meiosis, there is crossing of chromosomes, and due to this crossing, genetic recombination is formed, and this genetic recombination favors the process of evolution. Now you know that evolution is a process in which gradual changes occur in living organisms. So the crossing over between the chromosomes in meiosis help in genetic recombination, which in turn favors evolution. Then the last topic from this chapter is death of cell. Now death of cell in the body occurs due to different reasons. Now necrosis is one of them. Now the death of cell or necrosis occurs due to certain harmful chemicals or radiations. Then apoptosis, or it is also called as programmed cell death or cellular suicide, occurs in the cell due to certain signals. Then apoptosis or programmed cell death help to eliminate the cancer cells in the body. So certain signals are developed in the body, and this phenomenon, that is programmed cell death, occurs due to these signals, and it helps to eliminate cancer cells. So in this chapter, that is cell division, we have seen regarding mitosis, then meiosis and their significance, as well as the topic, that is death of cell.